This is it. This is life, the one you get. So go and have a ball one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. Okay, we're talking season 3 of One Day at a Time, Russian Doll, and the opposite of what Ashley Chaney is, Good Girls. All coming up right now.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
I like this. I like this new ditty.
And then it kind of fades in, and then we're here.
Then we're here.
I was gonna go a little bit longer. I was gonna but I was like,
we have to sing it. That's
I
what it is.
I don't think we need to
AfterBuzz
sing
TV.
anymore. Rick did all of the singing that we need.
Yeah, exactly. Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a few weeks, and I'm so sorry that we weren't here last week because we really should have, because the Super Bowl was awful.
I'm so sorry.
Some of us are
Yeah.
huge fans of punters.
So
And the Super Bowl was our Super Bowl.
But the good thing is we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. I'm Rick Hong, and sitting next to me is good girl Ashley Chaney.
That's right. I am a good girl.
Right.
But I don't care about football at all. So I would much rather talk Netflix last week, this week, next week. Netflix over football any week, guys. Good to see you.
And on the opposite side of the table, we got Steve Kaufmann.
I am here. I hated the Super Bowl. I can't even. I was gonna try to be contrarian. I'm like, no, I really hated the Super Bowl.
And Amy Cassandra Martinez, who didn't watch the Super Bowl, doesn't know who played.
The Rams and the Patriots both played, and the
both played,
Patriots
yes.
the Patriots won. And the Rams are the LA Rams, and the Patriots are the New England Patriots. Try me again, Rick.
So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna start with something that most of us watch, and like it actually debuted last week. I turned it on last Friday night. I binged watched the whole thing. Russian Doll, starring
Yes.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yep.
Wait, I want to know what you guys thought of this.
I thought the first like 2, maybe even 3 episodes. To be very honest, if my girlfriend wasn't more into it than me, I wouldn't have stuck through. It wasn't until the twist at the end of the 3rd episode that I was actually hooked on the idea of this show. I'm so interested in Natasha Lyonne, but this show ultimately got its hooks into me real hard.
I dug it. I was really nervous that it was going to be an annoying Groundhog Day type situation. Should we tell everybody what the show's about?
Yeah. So
Please. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So
Except that
we'll
she's in it.
educate Amy and we'll educate you guys.
So Russian Doll is they dropped 8 episodes.
8 episodes.
Just season 1, starring Natasha Lyonne, who many of you guys know from Orange is the New Black, the redhead. Great voice, great character, actress in general. And the idea is that she keeps reliving her 30th birthday party.
What?
Yeah, with twists and turns. So I was very fearful that it was going to be like just cumbersome to watch, and like how many times can we rewatch this one birthday
The
party?
good thing about it, though, too, is that it's 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes, not an hour. So like you're not going through 8 hours, you're going through 4.
Uh-huh.
And they're clever about it. But, right, it feels like, geez, is it going to keep doing it? I mean, how many times can you do this? Because it works in a movie like Groundhog's Day,
Yep.
which is like an hour and a half. How do you make it into a series? But keep
Yeah.
going.
Well, so I'm curious to see. I actually only made it two episodes in, not for lack of interest, because I watched one right after the other, and it is very clickable, very bingeable. I just didn't have time to watch more, so I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm curious to get to the 3rd, episode 3, where there's some sort of hook. But I love her as a character actress. I think she's great. The cast there's a pretty diverse cast. I'm really enjoying it so far.
So the big thing about this is that the clever thing about it is with Groundhog's Day is Bill Murray eventually starts manipulating the days to get what he wants, knowing that, okay, and he starts like, being in a bathtub and dropping a television and just like, I want to reset. Whereas with this one, she doesn't know how it's going to reset, how her day is going to reset, and she's trying to figure out why is my day, which is kind of funny because I just watched, not related to Netflix, but I just watched Happy Death Day.
Oh, that's what I was going to
So
say.
it's a little bit like Happy Death Day,
Yeah.
a little bit in that vein.
A Happy Death Day, there's a mechanism by which Happy Death Day, by the way, there's someone chasing her and kills her every day.
Yeah.
So the mechanism in Happy Death Day is that someone is literally coming to find her, and she has to figure out who, and then that gets muddled in its own way. Russian Doll, she just seems to die on that day every day. Like death and time are out for her on that particular day, but otherwise that day keeps replaying in the exact same way.
And there's like a mystery with the whole thing, and like not in an eerie way, but just in a fun way, and how she is, like her mannerisms, her delivery, so like it makes it she's very enjoyable to watch in this.
And there's not a whole lot of repetition. Like, I was really afraid, like Groundhog's Day, that it was going to be like, oh God, we're going to have to watch this scene with the same line delivered 17 different times. But as she relives and experiences her day, or the parts of her day, you get a different line from each character. It's small, but like, for example, the opening scene of her birthday, I'm like, I am not going to watch this.
I will say that it's sometimes like when I'll tell somebody and I'll say, watch the first episode. If you don't like the episode, turn it off.
Yeah.
With this one, I would say, like, watch the first episode, even if you're kind of not convinced. Yeah, you got to get to, like, maybe second, like, or Steve, in your sense, like, even the third episode, if you can, because there's, like, the hook in there works. And the payoff is good by the time you get to the end of it, the series.
Yes, the payoff is definitely worth it. And apparently this was pitched and created by Natasha Lyonne, Amy Poehler, and a playwright.
What? Amy Poehler's involved?
You would dig it, Amy.
Okay,
for sure,
I want.
And a playwright named Leslie Headland.
Yeah.
And they apparently pitched up through 3 seasons in the first pitch. So for those of us who made it to the end, I'm very shocked, or I'm very interested to see what they're going to do moving forward, because like there was a very satisfying ending to all of this. For me to then hear that, I don't know, do we follow different people on a different day, or does the loop somehow re-loop? It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do season 2, for sure.
I do want to say, like, the timing is great because of Groundhog's Day,
Yes.
but also Happy Deathday 2
You
comes out this weekend.
Which I'm seeing tomorrow night. So, anyways.
And they released Russian Doll last Saturday, which was Groundhog Day.
Last
Perfect.
Friday.
Yes.
It was Friday.
February 1st.
Groundhog Day? February 1st was a Friday? Okay.
I watched it Friday night, so. Anyway, so another Netflix original television series that's on season 3 that I got a chance to watch early. I also got to talk to Marcel Ruiz, who's on the show, is One Day at a Time. And finished the whole thing. Is just as good as season 2. The showrunners, the actors, the actresses, all in it. They just do an amazing job. Can you
tell me about that show? I haven't seen it, and I've heard so much about it. I haven't seen anything about it. What can you tell me?
So it is a remake of the 1970s show with like Bonnie Franklin.
Okay.
Bonnie Franklin, Valerie Bertinelli, and Mackenzie Phillips. And it is about a Cuban family here in LA. Rita Moreno's in the television show, Justina Machado. And it's just kind of their life currently, like in current times, and they cover like all sorts of themes. Like the son this season gets busted for, smoking the pen.
Smoking the pen.
Smoking the pen. The daughter, she's gay. So she kind of comes out in season 1 and then season 2 and 3, and like it's a part of it is like their dad doesn't live with them, but he's a part of the show on occasion. He comes in and guest stars, and he's had struggles dealing with her not being straight. So they cover those, and Justina Machado, she's single. So it's like about her like dating. She had a love interest last season. She's got a love interest this season, and trying to figure out who could be like my next level of life, and or like the love of her life, I guess. And then the guy that plays Schneider, he is in the show. He is a recovering drug and alcoholic, and he kind of falls off the wagon this season. So it's like how they all deal with that dynamic. So like there's laughs, there's tears. I mean, Rita Moreno is a legend from West Side Story. She's amazing. I mean, she's like 85 or something, and she acts like she's like 65 in terms of how well she moves and her energy and everything. So another great season.
Have any of you guys seen One Day at a Time?
Yeah, I started watching it several months ago because of Rick, actually, you. But yeah, it was really, really good. It was just one of those that it's like, I want to continue watching you, but I have to do some other things, and I'll come back to you. I have a good amount of those.
There's so much on Netflix. The big draw that I can say about season 3 is the person that sings the theme song that you guys heard me singing. I mean, I don't do it as well as she does.
Would we call that singing?
Yeah, that's true. Is Gloria Estefan.
I knew it. Yes, she's.
So she guest stars this season. Gloria Estefan guest stars this season, and the showrunner, Gloria Calderon-Collette, she's also an actress.
Yeah.
And she has an amazing guest star. When she showed up, I was dying because it was so good. I would almost even sit there and say like, you guys should go and just kind of get a general idea of like what she looks like if you don't, and then watch the season so that when she pops up, you're gonna have a good laugh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's
cool.
that's a recommend on my end. Amy, you have Ted Bundy.
I couldn't do it, Amy.
I know.
Ted Bundy?
Well, okay. So I saw that a lot of people were talking about it, and I was like, all right. Because I do like those, scary, like, true crimes things. So this is, right now, it's one season. There are 4 episodes, but the 4th episode's an hour 14. They're about an hour, the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. It is. And I do have to say that I only saw the first one, not because I wasn't interested and not because I wasn't, absolutely
I
terrified,
mean,
which
he
I
was
was.
like a legit like serial killer, so it's like I don't know if you
Yes.
really want to absorb.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because knowing that how real it is.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that I feel I wanted to know what everyone was talking about, and I feel like that's what most of us end up doing. But also, Zac Efron is going to be Ted Bundy in a film
that's
that
right.
will come out.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so it's terrifying, guys. It is. I think also the way that they edit these kinds of things, like that's what it comes down to. If they don't do a good job, then you're like, oh crap, like that's terrifying. But when they make it so good, you're like, oh.
But Netflix does a good job with that,
So
with like
good.
the
They're true crime,
staircase,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
they do a really good job in
So
How to
for
Make a
sure.
Murderer.
Oh, yeah. If you're a big true crime fan, you have to see this. If not, and you're a young woman that just
Lives alone.
Honestly,
Doesn't want to be
Actually, Chaney won't be
terrified.
watching this at any point, so.
no, I think it's just something that I feel like we should all be aware of. Like, you can't trust anyone that you don't know. Like, you have to be careful. You know what I mean?
Specifically, people who look like Zac Efron.
Well,
So allegedly, that's like the mark of a
That's-
serial
Yes.
killer.
exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of women went, like he would say, hey, can you come help me with this? Sure, because he doesn't look like someone that you would think would kill people. So, with that, I do recommend it. I really do.
Oh.
One I'm going to
Yeah.
talk about really, really, really quick because it was bad is Velvet Buzzsaw.
I've been hearing about that too.
Has Jake Gyllenhaal, Renee Russo, John Malkovich.
Great
I
cast.
mean, yeah, great.
I've heard great things though. You're
No,
the first
great cast.
person.
No. But it's and it's the same kind of team. It's written and directed by Dan Gilroy. And this is the guy that did Nightcrawler. And Renee Russo and Jake Gyllenhaal are in Nightcrawler as well. So I can see why they wanted to do another film with him. But this one, it's in the art world. Like I feel like everybody's like the characters are kind of snobby, and they come across like this apartment filled with all these like old paintings, and they're all. And the whole thing about these guys is like they're trying to break like the next artist. And
God, Renee
and-
Russo looks killer still. Does she not age?
I know. I was gonna say that. She looks
she's-
exactly the same.
She's great. But so they come across like these like old like artworks, and so it's like kind of a race of like who represents this artist, and there's kind of like, oh my gosh. But meanwhile, there's like a supernatural element to these artworks, and so they kind of it almost kind of turns a little Twilight Zone-esque. But my big issue with this movie is that you don't root for anybody. You don't care about any of the characters. Like you all just kind of want them to die, or like you don't care about what happens to them. Therefore, that's why like I couldn't be invested in this movie because I didn't relate to anybody. I wasn't cheering somebody on. The mystery was okay, but I still didn't care about that.
It's a feature-length film?
Yeah. It's 2 hours. It's just shy of 2 hours. So like and I really like Nightcrawler. I thought
Yeah.
Nightcrawler was brilliant. So it's for me, it's a pass. It's a shame. Amy, Assassination of Gianni Versace, which is also based on something that really happened in the 90s, I think.
97. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd been wanting to watch this for a while.
It's on
but-
FX. It's originally on FX.
But yeah, Darren Criss has been winning a lot of awards, most recently a SAG award. So I was like, all right, I had a free afternoon. I was like, let me try this. And I did see just the pilot. Right now, season 2 is also on. There are about 9 episodes each season, about an hour long each.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a lot. But this is like a full, it looks expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
And
you
it's-
watch something.
And it's the Ryan Murphy true crime series, similar to the O.J. Simpson one.
Yes.
That it's the
yes.
same.
And a feud.
Yeah.
Yes.
And feud.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy is best for 10 episodes.
Yeah, I love the O.J. Simpson one. They did a really good job with that one. But yes, so Darren Criss is in it. So that's him right now on the screen.
He actually won Golden Globe, I think, for this
Yeah, the
role.
Glo-
Well,
they-
and a SAG award recently.
SAG award.
Yeah. So, it starts off, and I felt really weird because I was like, oh, there's Gianni Versace. So how long are we going to see him alive? And then you kind of see like the process of what happens and how he dies. And then when it happens, you're like, whoa. So then this whole entire, season and the following season is going to be about the assassination, you know, and
wow.
everything that happened. So it's very intense, but very well written. I think Penelope Cruz is amazing. I knew that she was in it.
Donatella Versace, the sister. right?
So good. And for New Girl fans, Schmidt is in it, which is also another reason why.
Schmidt.
I love Schmidt too. And also Daya from Orange is the New Black.
Love her.
So there's a lot of familiar faces, and I think everyone just does an amazing job. I think this is one of those shows that you really need to invest your time in. It's also on my list of like, okay, one day at a time, but
Lot
definitely
of stuff.
watch.
That's why you guys watch this show. So that was a regular release on Netflix. And another regular release, I've referred to it many times already in this show. Ashley Chaney, you watched Good Girls.
Well, actually, Good Girls is not a Netflix originals.
No. Regular release.
Regular
Regular
release.
release.
Sorry.
Regular
Yes,
release.
regularly released on. It is an NBC show, which I didn't realize that it was one of the major network shows, and it explains so much after watching it because it is like some shows that you were talking about, Amy, super high production value.
Yeah.
It felt like I watched it within. As I'm watching it, I'm like, is this going to be a feature? I knew it was a TV show, but it was set up. It felt like the start of a movie, and it's such a great cast. You've got Christina Hendricks from Mad Men. You've got Retta from Parks and Rec, and Mae Whitman from
Parenthood.
And
Parenthood.
also,
She's from like everything.
million
Fine
things.
day.
Hope
Arrested Development.
Hope
Maybe.
Floats as
Also,
well.
not maybe, but
Actually, deep cut for Mae Whitman. She is. She was the daughter of the president in Independence Day.
Yeah, she has been working
Oh
in the
wow,
industry
Micah
for
Monroe grows up to
ages.
be, or she grows up to be Micah Monroe in Independence Day too. Interesting.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
That's crazy.
She's killer, and the cast was great. They all did such an awesome job. So there's 10 episodes out right now. Season 1, they released season 1 to Netflix,
And season 2 is going to be coming out on NBC.
on NBC on March 3rd. So I thought, that's interesting timing. Because truth be told, when's the last time you watched a show on like regular network? I mean, I can't even remember.
This Is Us, but I haven't caught up to this season, but even then I watched it on Hulu.
I was about to say, is Hulu a
It's
regular
on
network?
streaming. Yeah, it's on streaming.
And what's good about Good Girls? It's a lighter version, a little bit of like a Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Christina Hendricks is a housewife, Mae Whitman is her sister. And then like
Retta's their friend.
Retta's is their friend, and they they kind of get caught up like stealing money, and because
Each one has their own financial plight, and so you learn about each of these women and why they really need money. This is not giving anything away, but the whole premise of the show is that they basically rob a grocery store. That's where we start off with, is that they rob this grocery store, and then it sort of starts to unfold in a Breaking Bad fashion from there. I was watching it today, and I couldn't. It was one of those. It's super binge worthy. I kept pressing next episode. So it's definitely a good watch. I love Christina Hendricks. I really, really love Christina Hendricks. Mae Whitman. They're all great. Each episode's like 40 minutes, and if each one feels like a mini movie. It's so enjoyable to watch.
I'm happy to hear this turned out good because it had a really, really, really bad trailer. I remember the trailer being so bad that I was like, oh, I'm definitely not watching this.
But when you saw the trailer, did you think it was a movie?
No,
I did.
I thought it was it was pitched to me as a show on NBC, but the trailer felt all over the place.
Yeah.
The trailer felt all over the place and trying to be funny. So to now hear the way you're explaining it and see on Wikipedia that it's listed as a crime comedy drama.
It's certainly not as heavy as Breaking Bad at all. Like, I don't think they ever get really heavy with anything. There's a couple of scenes that you're like, ooh, yeah, that's rooted in reality. But
I don't know, like one of the early trailers I saw led me to believe that it's like a semi-serious Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
no, then the trailer didn't do justice.
Then the trailer really made it look bad.
I highly recommend it. Super watchable, and I love that it's a female-led cast, and they do a great job leading. And I think there's a team of female producers and directors as well.
Yeah.
So I dig it. I really dug it.
Jenna Bans created this series.
Yeah, it's well done, very well done. What'd you think, Rick?
Oh, Good Girls?
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed it. I watched it when it was on NBC.
What?
I
On regular
don't know.
TV?
Yeah. I don't know.
That
but
worked.
no, but I'm like Amy. I don't think I watched it I didn't watch it live,
Yeah.
but I watched it back like on Hulu. I don't know if I watched every single episode, but I got the gist of like what was going on, and I think I ended up finishing it. I do like it, and I'll definitely be like tuning into season 2.
Same, yeah.
Or I'll probably even go back a little bit on season 3 to kind of say like, wait, I might have missed this in that episode or that in that episode. I'll go back to season 1 and revisit a couple of the episodes to make sure that I know exactly what's going on.
I wonder why NBC would sell to Netflix for this series and Hulu for another. Interesting. I would love to know why.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, and I'm so glad that we get to have these kinds of shows on Netflix, because sometimes we wouldn't have stumbled upon them had we not.
Yeah, and I do say that you can really see the difference in production value. I hate to say it, but not that there haven't been amazing, Netflix original series, but it really felt like, oh yeah, this is why some of the good ones come out on the big networks.
Also, 4.4 million on NBC. I don't know exactly why they would have canceled this.
They canceled it. Season 2
No, season 2 is coming out.
Oh no, it's still on NBC. That's where, and then it's gonna. Okay, never mind.
They're dropping old seasons to Netflix. So season 1 is dropped. Now they're airing season 2. I think it's
so people can catch up.
Yeah,
so
and
people
build
can
up
catch
the.
up.
Oh, so you're asking why season 1's not on Hulu? It's on Netflix.
Curious. I don't know that we're gonna find the answer.
It's probably whatever deal The Good Place has.
Yeah, season 1. Season 1, they aired the episodes right afterwards, and then I'm sure once the season, once they finished the whole season, they probably left it on Hulu for a little bit, and then Netflix got their deal. They pulled everything, so then people can watch it on Netflix, and so the Netflix can get their views out of it, and their payment or whatever they paid for it, and then people will tune in to season 2 on NBC. It'll do the whole cycle all over again on Hulu.
Okay, I thought this was a
Netflix.
Netflix revival. I wasn't paying enough attention, I guess.
Well, we'll get to one of those.
Steve, it's important.
Although we're not live, currently you guys will be watching. Ashley, what can our fans do?
You guys, well, you're here already, and we're so glad to have you watching now. Maybe that's because you're a subscriber already. If you're not, go ahead right now and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up and leave us a comment below. Let us know where you're tuning in from, why you're watching, who you like best on the panel. Oh, wow.
Hello.
No, why you like the panel and what you'd like to see more of. We love hearing from you guys, and we want to make sure that you are getting what you want out of the show because you are helping to make us the ESPN of TV Talk, and we thank you so much for it. So yeah, make sure you give us a thumbs up here, also on iTunes and Spotify. Leave us a comment, and thank you so much. We love you.
Cool. And finally, hidden gems. There's nice. I like that.
I was
like
like, was that my phone?
We've got a couple of hidden gems. One of them we can talk for a little bit about is Steve. You watched. Or you call it a hidden gem, Roma.
I watched Roma. Should have watched it the third week in December, like I said I was on the rundown, and Amy did.
Yep.
Like Amy did, and then I finally got around to it because I'm trying to watch all of the Best Picture nominees. I've only not seen The Favorite and Green Book.
Both are good.
Is it worth 10 nominations? I mean, hidden gem I agree with. Hidden
Careful,
gem I agree with.
Careful, you are catching some shade from Amy.
It's so shady here.
Okay,
Just you know,
let me.
it's fine.
I just want to point out, if you had told me that this was the Academy Award for foreign language, and just that, I would have watched it differently, I guess, because I feel like there are references in plot points I was missing that I didn't speak the language natively. I still enjoyed this film overall. I don't know what is an Oscar nomination. It was very well made, very well told story. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, or as much as I wanted to enjoy it.
But then it goes back to that debate. They released this thing theatrically as well.
Yes,
and that's hence to really push it in there for Netflix to get into the game to win Oscars.
It's at the Lemley right now.
Yeah, just like Amazon did with Manchester by the Sea. And so if you watched it on the big screen, do you feel like you would have been more emotionally invested versus watching it at home?
I think that's a very good possibility because he shot this in 16, and I feel like if it were projected in 16, I would have. I don't know. I would have probably felt how he intended it to be. He's a great director. The shots were great. When you talk technically speaking, it was very well done filmmaking. It's just the story. I felt a little out of the loop, and maybe that was intentional because we're supposed to just kind of be following this story from a very outsider's perspective. But I had to Google it to be like, that rich family was hit. One of those kids was him. This is semi-autobiographical from Alfonso Cuarón. But I'm not spoiling anything because he doesn't.
No, and
he says that in interviews. Yeah,
that adds to it. You're not out of the loop if you don't know that, and that's okay.
What I know of this movie is it's about a family that's immigrating to the U.S. Is that right?
Nope.
No. What can you tell me? Logline of this movie?
I believe
it's Alfonso Cuarón's love letter to his housekeeper, or housekeeper / nanny, just kind of from his kind of memory and just kind of her life and thinking, she showed up every single day, but what was kind of maybe what was going on in her life outside of just coming to their home and being their nanny and housekeeper, and
in the States. Here in the States.
In Mexico City.
In Mexico.
In Mexico City in 1970 and 71.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's like a political kind of thing that's kind of going on, and kind of in the very, very background of it. It doesn't have much to do with the story 100%.
Yeah.
But it's there too. So
It's on my list. I just don't have time for a feature right now.
well, Amy, you
Yeah.
talk. I mean, there's something you're talking about, like when in terms of like we're talking about an Oscar movie.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually making my way through every single Oscar-nominated film, short film, everything. So
Ever or just this year?
just this year. Oh my God, Amy! I mean, like someday, sure, yeah.
You have to leave the house.
But
The
no,
entirety
just
of
this
film.
year, just this year. And so I was pleasantly surprised to find that on Netflix they have a whole section. I can see it on my phone right now. I thought it was just on my Xbox. They have a whole section that says "Celebrate the Oscars." So it's all the Oscar-nominated films that they have here on Netflix. So you can see "Silence of the Lambs," "West Side Story," "As Good as It Gets,"
What's
You can
that
see
story?
Roma.
Rita Moreno.
Silver Linings Playbook, Pulp Fiction. Like
good.
there is so much. It even goes back to, I want to say, like even some black and white movies that aren't Roma. So it's so cool. This is something
That's a fun feature for sure.
yeah, and even, I mean, most recently I saw, you guys talked about it before, but The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. There's so many that, even if you don't want to go that far back in time, there's so many that are nominated for Oscars this year that you can see on Netflix, which I think is great. And I think these are all hidden gems because there's so many. So many also documentaries, so many shorts, I mean not shorts, foreign language films that I think people
nice.
would not be open to seeing had they not been put on here.
Also, it might just be desktop, but I was able to search in the search bar 2019 Netflix Oscar nominees, and it lists the 4. Actually, it lists 4 of the 5 that they have, because they also
Because
have
I
Black
don't know
Panther.
if Period. End of sentence.
Period, end of sentence is a documentary. Endgame is a documentary.
Interesting.
Endgame hot. Not Avengers.
No, different, completely
Nope.
different Endgame.
Nope.
But Black Panther is somehow not on this list, and it's one of the 2 Best Picture nominees you can watch on Netflix currently.
Yeah.
Bug in the system.
All right, Ashley. The Secret.
Oh, The Secret. Have you
Tell
guys, you guys
us.
know about The Secret, right? Dun, dun, dun.
No.
The Secret it's been around for ages, but it's sort of this self-help. I can't believe none of it's surprising to me
I
that any of you
mean,
guys have heard of The Secret.
That looks familiar.
It was a whole big self-help movement. I think maybe it still is. It's fun to see it on Netflix. I had listened to the audiobook of this many, many years ago and continue to go back to it whenever I feel like I need to remind myself of this universal lesson, which is the law of attraction. Basically, what you put out into the universe, you attract back to you in tenfold. So if you're thinking good, happy, good thoughts and vibes, you get back good, happy thoughts and vibes. It also goes a little bit more into like, if you want to attract wealth, here's how you should think, and if you want to attract the love of your life, here's how you should think. I mean, take with it what you will, take from it what you will. But I always like to go back and listen to the style of the movie is that they interview a lot of thought leaders, particularly in like the realm of philosophy and all that good stuff. I will say it's pretty cheesy. It was made in 2006. The audio book, which pulls clips from this movie, is great. The actual movie itself is pretty cheesy, but the information is still there. If you can have it on, actually, this is a great tip. Turn it on and then don't watch it and just listen to it because it's pretty cheesy visuals, but a great sort of philosophy to be reminded of nonetheless.
I'll tell you guys a secret right now. Just do unto others before they do unto you. That is the secret. That's all that needs to happen.
Also, another secret, I'm pretty sure on an iPhone you can listen to the audio of Netflix on your lock screen if you hit lock twice.
Oh, interesting.
If you hit lock, it'll pause, and then if you hit play from the lock screen, it'll just play the audio.
Oh, well, hot tip.
Should we try?
That's the secret.
Amy, what can people do?
You guys can, of course, listen to us because you're listening to us right now, or you're watching to us. Watching to us. Yes.
Watching to us.
To us. Mm-hmm. You can go ahead and just make sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes because, that would really mean a lot to us. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, go ahead, just continue doing so.
Please. Please and thank you.
Yes.
All right. Netflix news. I love it. So Steve Kaufmann a couple weeks ago said that he really enjoyed Sex Education
Oh my gosh,
season
me too.
1.
So good.
did Ashley?
I finally
Okay.
caught up. It's so good. I binged. I'm so sad it's over. So good.
Okay, so good news is this is a quick pickup, season 2.
Yeah.
They're doing a season 2, so I'm
Excellent.
gonna, what we should do. So what Ashley and I will do in the next couple of weeks is I'm gonna go back and then we'll talk about we'll either
Yes.
confirm or deny Steve Kaufmann's recommendation for Sex Education. But clearly, if it's picked up for a season 2 this quickly, that's really good.
Also,
Makes me
Netflix.
happy.
Netflix, that's a good product that plays well in America, but that's a comedy that'll play well in Europe,
Yeah.
which is something you'll have a hard problem with it with an American comedy.
Oh, so good.
And then there's also in news, so because Disney Plus is coming out, the Disney-Fox merger is happening. Captain Marvel, after it goes to the theaters, it'll be the first movie to not air on Netflix. That's it.
Wow.
That's it, guys. I mean,
Wow.
so Avengers
Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame is, I think, probably the last one, so you won't see Captain Marvel on
So
there.
Avengers Endgame is coming.
So Captain Marvel comes out next month, and then
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame
will
comes out
probably be
April.
on Netflix, but you won't see Captain Marvel, so go see that when it goes into the theaters.
Hot tip.
And top 3 releases for this coming up week, which this coming up week is Valentine's Day. And one of my very, very old school friends is Dr. Kendrick Jung, and he has a comedy special that John M. Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians, directed here in Los Angeles. And his special is called You Complete Me Ho. And I mean, it might seem a little like, what's going on here? But his wife is Tran Ho. Now she's Tran Jung. So there's a thing there. But watch it. I don't know too much beyond that, but I know it's going to be amazing. And we also have another series coming out called Dating Around, which makes sense because it's Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day theme so far.
Dating around.
And I think one of the big ones for Netflix is The Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy. Okay.
Yeah, people have been talking about this for a few weeks. Like, there's been some press junkets and everything. So, like, the Umbrella Academy is coming out. And if you missed it when it was on Bravo, Dirty John, starring Connie
Oh my gosh,
Britton.
that's coming to Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
And
I'm dying
it's
to watch.
Eric Bana's first time doing a limited television series. So that's coming out this week. So maybe Ashley will watch Dirty John and
They
tell
got
us
a
all
lot of
about it.
Globe nominations also. So yeah, I'll be excited to watch some of that show.
All right, guys. Well, in the meantime, Amy Cassandra Martinez, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on all social media at Amy Cassandra MTZ.
I'm Steve Kaufmann. You can find me on Twitter almost exclusively at Steve Kaufmann. That is KAUFMANN. I run a lot of YouTube pages for some of your favorite wrestling superstars. If I'm tweeting the link, support them, support me.
Hi guys, so good to see you again this week. If you want to talk to me online, find me at Ashley on Camera on all social media, and I'll talk to you there.
And you guys can find me on all social media at Rick Hong, RICKHONG. We'll be back here next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I always want to say 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why.
We're
but
not in the East Coast.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.